5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And I sing. Hello, everybody. This is Alex Bennett. This is the Ramble. And we go until midnight tonight. Right now, we're going to check in with an old friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely, the attractive. You've seen him on TV. I don't know how to introduce you anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Larry Bubbles Brown. Hello, Larry.
Yes, if you've seen him on TV. Remember when TV actually used to be kind of a big thing? Now,
yeah.
Nobody watches it anymore.
As seen on TV. Oh, really? That old-fashioned thing? Yeah. Do the television people know that they aren't relevant anymore?
I would think like the big broadcast networks, they got to be feeling like they're nothing unless they're totally delusional.
Yeah. I mean, they better get themselves a podcast. I mean, it's like it's not working. In fact, nothing's working in show business. I mean, if you say, well, everything's gone to the internet and podcasts and so on, well, there's so many podcasts that none of them mean anything. You know?
Exactly. I read there's like 600,000 podcasts in America, and 150 of them make money.
Maybe. And they're usually associated with big corporations like CBS, where they can promote it on their networks, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And this is one of them, by the way, that isn't making any money, okay? So let me just make that abundantly clear. Because nobody wants to listen to old people.
We're hated.
I'm thinking of starting a whole network called Nobody Wants to Listen to Old People and have it just inhabited by old hosts, you know?
That'd be a good idea.
You know, and we'll just sit there, because every one of us is going to say, well, you know, I had to go to the doctor yesterday. Right? The reason why we usually do two of these in one day with Bubbles, we're only doing one, is because he has to go to the doctor.
Of course.
You know, you hurt your shoulder?
Yeah, I fell down last month, and it's not getting any better.
You know why that is?
Because I'm old.
That's right. Thank you. Bingo.
Nothing heals like it used to.
Nothing heals like it used to. You know, you keep getting, what do you call it? You keep getting worse and worse, what's the word I'm looking for here? See, that's how old I'm getting. You just keep getting worse and worse information about your body. You know. Oh, wait a minute. We just lost him. What happened? Well, I'll have to call him back, I guess. That's what you do. Here we go. It's ringing. Let's see.
Wow.
Yeah, you just, all of a sudden, you just went, you know.
Even our bodies are falling apart on our cell phones.
And cell phones are falling apart, too. No, it's just that, you know, you keep getting bad information about your body constantly, you know. So, like today, I think my wife went to the doctor because her ankle was hurting. It's arthritis, and it's in the heel, and insurance doesn't cover steroid shots in the heel. You ready for that one?
Doesn't cover that? Wow.
Now, you see, this is what old people talk about when they talk. When they get together, they have some dinner together, the topic of conversation always comes around to, well, I went to the doctor yesterday.
It does.
Or how good is your insurance? You know, it used to be, did you get laid? You know, but it's not that anymore.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We used to talk about, when we were talking about powder, it was cocaine, and now it's Metamucil.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I've been having some medical, you could call it an issue, but it's, what I hate about it is if you get cancer, don't tell anybody. And here's the reason why. Because they know nothing about cancer. And so when you say cancer, what's the automatic reaction?
You got to get that out.
Or, oh, my God, you're going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've got a cancer which, oh, my God, I'm not going to die. Okay? Not going to kill me. In fact, the doctor yesterday said, yeah, with these 2 treatments we're going to do, we'll probably get all of it. And I'm going... But then I put it up on my site, on my Facebook page, and I go, like, I'm taking the night off because I have to have a surgical procedure for, a minor surgical procedure. And everybody's writing, oh, my God, good luck, Alex. I hope everything's going to be fine with you. Oh, my God, the world's falling in. You've got what? You've got cancer? Oh, my God. Well, I've got prostate cancer. And at my age, it ain't no big deal. They give you radiation. And that's kind of like taking a pill, and then you're okay for the rest of your life, which may be about 3.5 minutes. So, I mean, the happy news is you're going to die of something else. Oh, thank you very much. I'm very happy to hear that. Do you have any idea what it's going to be? So I keep wondering what's going to get me. So I asked the doctor, is this going to kill me? And he looked at me and he went, no. He gave me this dirty look like, don't be silly, So
and was it a painful procedure?
This procedure? This thing they did was, this is a pre-thing for radiation. But they go in there and they put 3 or 4 gold markers on your prostate. So now I'm Mr. Gold Prostate. Yeah. and then they also put what they call a spacer between your rectum and your prostate so that it doesn't get radiated. And then I go in for like 5 episodes of these radiation treatments, which are rather minor because they only take about 45 minutes tops from the time you get in there and they get you all ready and everything by the time it's over. And very simple procedure, only 5 of them. It was like 2 months worth, 5 days a week. And now it's down to 5 days. And then after that, this guy's going to implant seeds in my prostate, which will cause a few more side effects than the radiation does, but not anything severe. And that's about an hour of surgery, and then I'm in and out, and then that's it. Go home, get better, go die of something else.
Yeah.
So it's all very simple. So folks, don't worry. Yes, I've got prostate cancer, and I can use it as a great excuse. Like when a girlfriend says to me, "Will you take out the garbage?" I go, "No, I have cancer." I'm too weak. I have cancer, right?
And you can always use that to board the plane early too.
Yeah, or in an argument if you're having an argument with her, So, please, I have cancer, right? So everybody respects cancer for some reason, So
yeah, it's one of the things. Like there's certain words you're really not supposed to say during a comedy set, and the cancer is always one.
Cancer's one of them. I never heard a comedian use the word cancer.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I find that people don't understand that there are various kinds of cancers, and there are some that are very manageable. This is the second most manageable of the cancers. The first being breast cancer, where they just lop off a breast. Okay. But prostate cancer is the second most curable. And especially at my age, it's not a death sentence at all. Meanwhile, if you get pancreatic cancer, say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, rather quickly.
Yeah. So don't, when you hear prostate cancer, when you hear cancer, it's not always the same cancer. Cancer is an umbrella term for, unusual growth in some area of your body. And prostate is the easiest to take care of, especially if you get it early. And I said to him yesterday, is it spread outside my prostate, do you think? He says, nah, not at all. So don't even worry about it. So, but here's the thing got me yesterday, and I probably talked about this already on the show, or maybe I'll run this the same night and then I can tell it again, is that the procedure I had was about 10 minutes, okay? So they take me in, but they put me out, So they put me out, and it takes 10 minutes. The setup for it, in other words, going through the process of getting through the hospital, takes about 2 hours before you get into the operating room, okay? And then after you leave the operating room, you have about another at least hour and a half of recovery for a 10-minute procedure.
Jesus.
I was there from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 6:30 at night, and only 10 to 15 minutes of that was him actually shoving something up my ass and fixing me or something, or getting me ready. And this wasn't even a corrective surgery of any sort. This was just, we got to go in there, put this gold in there. By the way, my prostate has become a pincushion for doctors. Okay, between the biopsy and the and this thing the other day, I mean, I've got more. They keep poking holes in it, and they don't have to worry about cancer. This isn't going to work anymore, So, anyway, that's my.
Well, your prostate's worth a fortune now.
Yeah, I wonder how much gold is in there. He said he put gold markers. It's like for the radiation to tell where to go on the prostate and. Take care of stuff. So this is just a setup for my radiation. This isn't even the big radiation thing. And then I go in and we have what's called a rehearsal. And that's when they decide, they make a little bed for me to lie in, and they position the thing, and I think they look at me under a CT scan to see how exactly the prostate is, so they can then decide where the radiation's going to go. And then I come in and do the 5 treatments. So that's it. And then the seeds.
And how long were you out?
I was out for 10, 15 minutes. That was it. But when I woke up, I didn't know what was happening. I was just kind of a little groggy. I have had this. This is like the stuff that killed Michael Jackson. The propofol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the go-to anesthetic for operations because I think it's the best. Probably it's just controllable, and when you stop feeding it into the person, the only thing that was terrible this time is he had to go through a vein in my hand, okay, because I have no veins in my arms, okay, be a lousy junkie, and where he did it. He says it's going to burn a little bit when the stuff goes in. My hand was killing me. It was just in pain until he said, well, wait, let me put some numbing agent in there. And he put some numbing agent in there, and it slowed down. And then all of a sudden I went out anyway. He said my last words were, I think it's working. I think that was my last words. And then it's like they edit 10 minutes out of your life. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's not like you're asleep or where you dream. It's just like you're gone.
Well, no, the next thing you know is you're waking up.
Yeah.
And they're picking me up and putting me on a gurney, and then they're wheeling the gurney down the hallway to the recovery room, where I lie there still all plugged up to the saline and everything else. But the worst part, and I'm sure I'm going to either tell this story. See, I don't know if I'm running this tonight or tomorrow night. Probably tomorrow night, so I will have already told the story. But the worst part about it is they give you a kind of a jar, or what can we call it? It's a jar with a hole of the size of a penis, okay? And they say, you can't leave the hospital until you've peed at least 100 liters or something like that, up to the first line. Now, I don't know about you, but do you ever go to the doctor and he says pee in the cup and you can't go?
Mm-hmm.
And you know why you can't go? Because you suddenly get what's called a shy bladder. Now, try doing it and knowing that if you don't do that, that if you can't pee, you're not leaving the hospital. So now the pressure's on to pee in this jar. And I'm just dribbling it in. I mean, a little bit at a time, and I almost got it up to 100. But I said, is this enough? And she said, yeah, you're peeing. Get out of here. But I said, what happens if I never pee again? I said, do I have to stay here forever? You know, I mean, it was just ridiculous. So,
well, then they get they always make sure you got to pee, otherwise you got to get the catheter.
But I'm lying there, and I'm going, so I'm coming out of the anesthetic, and I said, so how long do I have to stay here? Because I could very well just get up on my 2 feet and walk away, okay? They say, oh, about an hour. And I'm thinking, I just had a 15-minute operation, and already this whole thing's taking me, 4 or 5 hours. It's ridiculous. So anyway, I can hardly wait for the seat implants. That takes an hour. Probably be there for 25 hours or something, waiting to get out of there.
So you'd be knocked out for all of these?
Mm-hmm. For those,
knocked out.
Not for the radiation, but for the seeds. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the same guy that did Rudy Giuliani years ago and saved his life. Damn it!
So this is what Michael Jackson used to sleep on.
Yes, this is what he used to sleep on.
That's unbelievable.
But you know something? What I don't understand is why he even did it, because he may have felt it put him to sleep. But I got to tell you, it's not like. It's not.
I don't think you're getting rest out of it.
Yeah, it's not restful sleep. It's not like I'm going to go snore and I'm going to dream and do all of that. When I woke up and I went home, I went to bed at the usual time I always go to bed. So obviously there was no rest involved in that. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why in the world he ever did it. Why that was his. If he felt that was giving him rest, it wasn't. So, But anyway, so what? We lost a washed-up singer. Okay, so.
Didn't he sell the most albums of all time?
I don't know. Did he?
I think so. And I was thinking about him, like when you look at talent-wise, he wasn't a great singer, right?
He was okay. He was fine.
Okay, but not great.
He was, how can I put it? He was kind of like James Brown. He kind of riffed, I mean, he kind of had a beat that he sang to. I mean, he actually, if you listen to his voice, it was pretty clear and clean at one point, so. Whatever. I'll tell you what I was doing. I was listening yesterday as I was waiting for all this to happen. I was listening on my iPhone to Frank Sinatra and there's a version of the Duets album, which was like his last album, where it's just the tracks of him singing alone, because later on they inserted all the other singers. Okay. Boy, was he horrible. I mean,
at the end, yeah.
I wished I could always sing like Frank Sinatra, and in the end, I could. I mean, it was just amazing how bad he had gotten. And I said, I mean, you look at a guy like Tony Bennett, you can hear that he's kind of he's lost a lot of strength in his music. But he still is able to sing. He's still able to belt it out. He's not embarrassing. All right.
Well, do you think Frank knew that he was bad?
Oh, Frank knew it when he retired, and then he taught himself how to re-sing so that he could get some of that stuff out. But he was never as good when he came back as he was when he left. But it was all that drinking. It was all that lifestyle that fucked up his voice. He liked to think he respected his instrument, but he didn't. His idea of respecting it was taking tea and honey before he went on stage. And I'm sorry, I mean, there are a whole bunch of other contributing factors. And if you're a drinker and you're a smoker and so on, all that goes, So it's not it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Poor Frank. I just, because I listened to his early stuff and I go, my God, what, well, not the early stuff, the stuff in the 50s, 60s. What control, what style, what ability, And then to hear that just completely gone on his last album is just, it's sad. It's just sad.
It's like an athlete that stays too long in a game. And
yeah, exactly. But worse than that, because this is just purely embarrassing, because they're at a point where if anybody sang that badly at an audition, they wouldn't hire him.
Really?
The fact that he was Frank Sinatra seemed to matter, but I mean, it was bad. And that kind of depresses me, I'll tell you what else depresses me is like I had a friend die about a week ago. Saw him about 3 hours before he died in the hospital. And, 2 days later, we're dumping dirt on his coffin, as is the Jewish tradition. And it kind of made me think about immensely talented people, or immensely competent people, or people are philosophers or whatever. And all of a sudden, one day they die. And all that they were doesn't exist anymore. And so, therefore, what was it all for in the first place? Do you ever get that feeling?
Oh, yeah, that it all means nothing.
It all means nothing. At the end, somebody's going to be dropping dirt on your coffin, and all your life you try to accomplish stuff. You try to become the best at what you are, like you're a comedian. You try to become the best at that. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't mean anything. And then as the years go by, you suddenly become a speck in history, and nothing mattered that you did,
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about Dana Carvey, who was saying about these actors that have these amazing careers and make dozens of movies. When they're dead, like, they're so quickly forgotten.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. Well, because life goes on. People don't, I'm not sitting here moaning the death of Frank Sinatra, for instance. He's dead.
Nothing more ephemeral than show business, I guess.
And by the way, my friend Shecky brought something up one day when we were talking about Paul Newman. And he said to me, there are people right now who don't remember who Paul Newman was.
Sure.
And you find that incredible, because in your life, Paul Newman was a major actor.
Uh-huh.
And now that he's dead, doesn't matter. Goodbye. See you later, Paul. We're getting on with life here.
Yeah, so you might be remembered by a few dozen film students. Wouldn't that be it?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's kind of sad, I mean, so I've been in this mood lately, and then we have like our friend Will Durst, one stroke and all your abilities completely wiped away.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear he's doing okay, though. I hear he's in a rehab.
The last I heard, I think he's getting out of the hospital and getting ready for the rehab.
He is in the rehab now. I just heard from Debbie. He's in the Jewish home, which my mother was in the Jewish home for the aged, so I don't think it's the same place. But it's a place called the Jewish home, and if it's a Jewish home, it's pretty good, because all their sons are doctors. But you go, he spent a whole career really trying to excel. He never gave up trying to excel, writing and doing his skits and sketches. And then all of a sudden, one day he gets a stroke and he can't do it anymore. What's that all about?
Yeah, thanks, God.
Yeah, thanks a lot, God. Yeah, who is this God anyway? I think somebody said. I think that was in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in which they said there were these 3 books, and one was something like, 24 feelings about God, blah, 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 about God, blah, 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 about God in his fourth book. Who's this God person anyway? So anyway. Hey, listen, we're kind of running out of time. We got about 40 seconds here for me to...
Okay.
So everything's good with you outside of your arm, all right?
Everything's good, yeah. So looking 2020, trying to find something positive about it. But
Who's your medical provider?
Kaiser.
Oh, yes, or as you once described them,
Doctor-assisted suicide.
Yeah, exactly. I hope they don't remember that joke when they're working on you.
I know.
Anyway, hey, let's talk again next week, okay?
Talk next week, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's wonderful. He's terrific. His name is Larry Bubbles Brown.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And there was Larry Bubbles Brown. Don't we love Larry Bubbles Brown? We all love Larry. Everybody loves Larry. Am I too bright tonight? I don't think so. Am I? I don't care. Am I too bright? Let me see here. Let me just adjust my camera. See, I should do this before I go on the air, but I don't do it before I go on the air, so then I have to do it while you're here and you see me doing it. I got to wait for that to come up. There we go. And then we go here. We go down here and we say this one. See, and all of a sudden there I go. See, it's like the old days, right? And then I go up here and I say, well, I want the widescreen. Okay, so do that. There we go. And then I go over here, and did I change it? No, it's the same as it was yesterday. It just looks a little on the brighter side. There we go. I just want to get it just right. For people who are not watching this program, you have no idea what I'm doing. All right? So anyway, let me turn on let me get the Skype going here. How long is this going to take? Yes, last night it took forever for it to come up. And I'm sitting here, and it's bouncing up and down in my thing. You know, everybody has a Mac knows what I mean by the bouncing. Yeah, it's bouncing, it's bouncing, it's bouncing. It's taking longer now to do it than it used to take. Let's see here. I'm waiting. Okay, it should be coming up now. It stopped bouncing. There we go. Now it's circling, and then finally, here we go. Yeah, okay, I got it up. I would do this ahead of time. By the way, we're online if you want to call. I have this problem that I don't want to turn on the phone, the Skype before I go on, because some people have a tendency to call, and that's a problem. Now some people are trying to call, and it says we missed the call. Oh well, here we go. Here goes Charlie. Okay, there's Charlie. Okay, here we go. Charlie. Since you were on last night, you already have a spot, okay, in our thing. Let me do this and bring up Kathleen. She's going to be in the let's see here, cancel. Let me bring her up in the number 1 spot. Put her up at the top, since she's a lovely blonde broad.
Yeah.
Blonde. Yeah. Anyway. There we go. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, now let me put you all on screen so people can see you. Yes. Oh, here comes Josh Wheeler. Son of a bitch. Josh is calling. Son of a bitch. Yeah.
Don't forget your on-air light.
Oh, really? Oh, boom. There we go. See, I have to do that. If I don't do that, girlfriend gives me a bad time. Oh, wait a minute. Josh isn't here. He was called, but he didn't get on. So we'll just wait for him to call again, and we'll... oh, wait a minute. It says Josh Wheeler has joined. There we go. So let me take Josh and put him on and give him a place here. Oops. We're getting some kind of... everybody make sure they're not feeding back. Phil Meyer is calling now, so usually if I have to do this at the beginning of the show, it's just a pain in the ass, and then we get them all on, and life is good. There's scuba diver. Okay, there's Phil.
Don't put me in the wet spot.
No, don't put you in. Don't put you in the wet spot. Did you say?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Everybody else knew what it was.
Oh, I see. Okay, here we
I
go.
know nothing.
What do you mean? Don't put you in the wet spot?
Well, you're putting this one in spot 1, that one in spot 2. I said, just don't put me in the wet spot.
Yeah. Well, let me see here.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble getting you in the wet spot there. Oh, webhead. Oh, that's because that was last night. You're scuba diver. Okay, here we go. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, now I can do that. And we have 4 people here so far. Okay, good. Hello, everybody. How are you? Haven't seen. Let's see here. 3 of you since the new year. How was your new year, Kathleen? Did you do anything festive?
I did.
Wait a minute. She's going no, and then she says, "I did." What did you do that was festive on New Year?
Just festive things.
Like what? Give me an idea of festive. What to you is festive?
I don't know.
Oh, we were very festive. Marjorie was asleep by 10, and I just sat there taking time off from jerking off to porn and watched the ball drop, and then I suddenly realized that the ball was mine. So it was. I still got it, huh? Still got it. Josh, what did you do on New Year?
Honestly, don't really remember. I don't think I did anything.
Yeah. So I'm sure now that Kathleen didn't do anything because she didn't come up with a good answer.
I'm not saying.
Huh?
I'm not saying.
You're not saying what? Oh, did something happen on New Year's? What are you do? What are you giving us that for? Make your mind up, Phil, where you want that camera to be, will you?
I'm trying.
Make up your mind, okay?
Well, I rebooted the computer, so it needed an adjustment.
Every time I reboot, I have to check everything to make sure it works again. Because something or another will always go wrong on it. So I guess, Josh, you didn't do anything on New Year, right?
No, probably same thing I'm doing right now. Sit in this chair and watch this TV.
Yeah, and
I mean, I was pretty high, but that's also normal. So
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, let me see here. Where is this? Yeah. Well, that's very, very small. No, I something. I don't do that much pot anymore. Do you do much pot anymore, Kathleen? No. She, by the way, for you listening on radio, she's nodding her head. Okay.
Yeah, that's a new.
Okay, or listening to the audio. I shouldn't say radio. That's an old-fashioned term.
And my son said, "Yeah, Cracker Jack."
What? Anyway, so and Phil, what did you do on New Year? Anything?
No, I was probably asleep by 9. I think I woke up.
What a bunch of old farts
midnight. I woke up at midnight, right on the nose.
Yeah.
I went inside. Faye was asleep in the chair, and I said, "Hey, it's 2020. Come to bed."
Well, Marjorie said to me, she says, "I'm going to bed," and I said, "But you're not going to be up for New Year's." She says, "It's New Year's somewhere."
That's right.
And I said, "Yeah, that's a nice notion, but right now it's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean." So
Exactly.
So
which will be where you'll be if you wake her up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then I watched the ball drop, which that is the most. I saw there were 1.5 million people in Times Square, and I'm going.
Yeah, exactly. Boring.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I mentioned to you, these people are there. They can't go to the bathroom. They're. It's a mass of humanity.
Yeah.
if they have a heart attack, they're not even going to get them out of there.
Yeah.
They'd have to airlift them.
Yeah. So, it's a pain in the ass.
The last place I'd ever want to be. Even San Francisco, they get like 200,000 people down at the ferry building.
Yeah. And by the way, you don't want to go to Times Square on New Year's Eve if you got a prostate problem.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
You'll be peeing your pants. Well, you could wear diapers, but then it was so cold your diaper would freeze over.
Yeah, I can't imagine being there. I think they do it with CGI. There's really nobody there.
I can imagine that.
Right.
Your dick turning into a popsicle. I was just thinking of that image.
Hey, there was a day mine could do that.
Could do what? Turn into a popsicle?
And get licked.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I'll be joining you soon, so don't worry about that.
I don't know that it's going to affect any of the nerves or anything.
No, but it will. It will affect. I'll have to pee more. There may be some urgency to pee. This is from the seeds, not from the radiation. If all I got was the radiation, I'd just be mildly fatigued, and that's about it. Okay, maybe a little more going to the bathroom, but the seeds, I'm going to have some of that problem come back again for a while. But what the hell? It's all science.
At work now, they're starting to realize I'm not 45. My real age is 55, and some of these guys are actually horrified. Especially
let me think about this. They don't know that they think you're 45, not 55, but they're horrified.
Like,
I see.
Shit, the broad is 55, and she's working in the meat department and throwing
Kathleen?
boxes that are like 70 to 80 pounds, like it's nothing.
What did you have to fill out something on a dating site before you could get hired at Costco, and you had to lie about your age? Tell them you're 45?
I never said a word. I mean, when I applied for the job, when they interviewed me, the manager flat out told me, man, you're way too overqualified for this position. I said, listen, hire me. I'll be your best wad, work as directed. So they put me in these different positions. So now I'm seasoned. So they put me in the meat department because when I come in.
Good thing to be seasoned when you're in the meat department.
Yeah.
All you got to do is go into the oven.
Yeah.
And so we're throwing these boxes of like 70 to 80 pounds of beef. And so at first the guys look at me and they go, no. And I go, oh, yeah. And then I'm like, and they're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And so they find out that my sister-in-law is the manager, and they talk to her, and my sister-in-law goes, hey, she body builds. So she can handle the weight.
But the next thing they're going to say about you? Don't you? That you're a lesbian.
Nope, not at all.
Really? By the way, folks, I'm here to testify.
Like 20 and 25 that are hitting on me.
I'm here to tell you now, this woman is not a lesbian. Okay?
No.
I know that from personal experience.
No.
Yeah.
My son goes, you don't look lesbian either. No, I've got these kids hitting on me, and I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding
but
me?
you were wait a minute. You were a truck driver for UPS.
No, I was a manager.
Well, you were a manager, but you also drove a truck from time to time, right?
I drove a truck for like 4 months.
Yeah, and they always get the idea that it's got to be a lesbian doing that, And then look at her lifting those boxes,
When I was an on-road supervisor, my lesbian drivers go, you need to come to this club with us. It's in Lafayette, and it's called Just Rewards, but they called it Just Regrets.
Well, I'll tell you.
So I go, okay.
When I was a kid, my father took me to the symphony and the ballet and things like that, and I didn't play any sports, and all the kids at school thought I was a lesbian. So,
Very funny.
Very similar. Very similar.
So I'm out with my drivers, and we're all dancing, and then in comes all the management entourage, and we're laughing. I go, right now, these women are going, is she? No. What? No. Is she? It was the best night ever. They didn't know.
Yeah, they must have a real. They must really be impressed by the fact that you can do what you do physically. Because I couldn't do it when I knew you. Okay, I mean, I relied on you to carry a television set from one room to the other, you know? And she would do it. She would pick it up and just take it somewhere.
Like a feather.
I'm sorry. Maybe I made a big mistake by ever leaving you. You were a great asset to my life when it came to moving and lifting and things like that, you know?
The other day I come into work and usually I'll have my sweatshirt and stuff on. So I just had a shirt on and I had my tights and one of the guys goes, "Oh my God, you're built like a superhero." And I go, "Man, I get that all the time."
I got to tell you something. Tonight, what happened was at the hospital, when I was being checked out, I have the book here. I got this whole little thing that told me what to do and what not to do. And it said, don't lift anything heavy for 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then it said, but make sure that when you're taking a shower, you try and keep as much water away from the incision. And I'm going, they gave me the wrong release stuff. This is not what they did to me. There's no incisions.
You got cut on it?
Yeah, if I had an incision, I don't have to pick up something for 4 to 6 weeks. So tonight, there's a big garbage bag. It's really heavy because Marjorie decided she was going to clean out the refrigerator. And it's really heavy. And she says, could you take this out for me? I said, have you seen the literature?
Hey, Alex,
I can't
put you
lift.
out, didn't they?
I can't. What?
Well, the super.
They put you out. So you didn't see the incision on your back.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know?
No, I'll
Look in the
tell you
mirror.
what I have. What I have
No,
finally.
it runs vertical, right down the middle, just below the back. And
Finally,
above
I'm very 2000s because I
Hey,
got
that
if
long?
you
No.
need to fly out there and take your garbage out, I'll do it. Out
Yeah, okay. I did it, and I lifted. And she said, "Oh, don't do that. It says you can't." I said, "It also
Well,
says
that's
don't wash the incisions." I said, "That's for somebody else. I don't know who, but it's not me." Yeah, but anyway, so but I mean, it was yeah. I couldn't figure out what that was all about. It
that
just
incision is called butt crack.
yeah, yeah. So I'm very 2000s now. I have 4 tattoos.
Oh.
I mean, if I showed them to you, they're so small you can barely see them.
Thank
They
you.
put one here, they're on and on either side of me, and that's for where the radiation is going to have a guidepost, and then the 4 gold implants that he put in my prostate. You know, gold prostate. You know, they
Digging for gold, panning.
they use those to guide the radiation. And I sit in this room, and this thing's all been pre-programmed and goes. It's wonderful. The only thing is, I have to take milk of magnesia the night before. And I hadn't had milk of magnesia since I was a kid.
Forever.
Do you remember what it tastes
What do
like?
you use that for?
Laxative.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's
At least it wasn't castor oil.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I suddenly tasted it and I went, I think the worst thing about milk of magnesia is it has no taste at all and has the consistency of chalk.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the worst part of it. That and a fleet enema in the morning, which, yeah, I don't mind. Hell, you know, I'll just shove that thing in there, squirt a little water, and, you know, because they want me to cleanse myself. And then I go in and they say, go urinate. I said, well, I don't have to. They said, go urinate. I went and urinated. And they said, if you have to poop, go poop. And I went, no, I don't have to poop. Well, if
Wasn't
you can't
there a
poop,
fad
well, let me
in the
finish the
70s?
story,
Oh.
will you?
Oh, okay.
And so I pee and I come out and I go, why did you want me to pee? And they say, drink these 4 glasses of water. Because they needed to fill my bladder up with water, but since they didn't know how much was already in there, they wanted me to void so they could, I guess, refill or
Well,
something.
they can figure
Evil.
that out. They can figure out how much was in there. They just go over it with what's that thing?
It's a waste of a CAT scan.
Well, not a CAT scan.
You mean
it's,
sonogram.
sonogram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
But-
you know why they wanted you to pee? Because if you couldn't pee, they were going to give you a catheter. And so, you know, you're smiling. If you didn't pee, they would have catheterized you, and you wouldn't have been a happy guy.
You know something? I don't know, it's not a bad idea when I can kind of sling a hose over my shoulder and pee anytime I want to, you know?
Ask Patrick. He loves it.
Yeah, well, I hopefully I will not need a catheter at any point. So,
No, as long as you're able to pee, then they won't give you the catheter.
yeah, they told me before I left you got to pee, but the thing is, they make you pee. I said this last night. They make you pee in this jar. What is it?
They want to measure
The
it.
bottle. Okay.
Yeah.
And they said I want 100 cc's of pee, and that's not that much. It's that much. But every time I ever went to the doctor, he gave me a cup to pee, and I couldn't do it. I can't do it on
Not a
command.
pitcher?
She's trying to pee now, my mother. I got the faucet going. I kid you not. I
Well,
swear,
listen,
it's
would you
bringing
do me a
over.
favor? Save some of that.
Seriously?
Save some of that pee for me. So the next
What,
time,
drug test?
I have
She
to
thinks
leave
she went.
because
How can you not know if
when
you
they do
went?
the seeds,
Oh,
I'm going to have to do this
Gotta
whole
get around that.
this whole pee
I'm on the
routine.
radio.
No, you're not on the radio. You're on the internet,
I
which
tell
is
her whatever she wants to believe, though. You don't know what's going on.
anyway.
Hold on.
The point I'm making is if you save her pee for me. Oh well, he's not going to hear it. If you save pee for me, I'll keep it, and then I'll just while they're not looking, pour it into the bottle. You know. Well, good news. You're pregnant. Anyway.
I don't think his mother's going to get
No,
pregnant.
I don't think so either.
Boy, babe.
All right. Okay. You're going through. Do you have hot flashes, Alex? Anyway. So, but no, they will do that again when the next operation I'm going to have are the seeds. That's the next time they put me out. But it took me forever to get out of that hospital, and I'm going when I got a colonoscopy. I just walked off the table, walked into another room, put my clothes on, and left. And they just made.
When I was 18, I was going to school in Miami, and you'd go over by the pool and you'd see all of these people talking about their operations and that their scar is this
Now you know
big.
what it's about, don't you?
Yeah.
And now you know what it was about.
And I used to laugh. And now I'm there. But
So far, Kathleen's been pretty good. You had one operation, the whole breast thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
And when I was 3 months pregnant, I had to have my appendix removed.
Oh my God.
Why?
I had an
What-
emergency appendectomy, and they took my appendix out of my belly button orthoscopically.
Really? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and the surgeon came in the next day. I was in and out in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Did you have some juice?" I said, "I ate my whole breakfast." He's like, "Oh, you can go home." But he said, "Funny thing was, your bowels were curled around your appendix." And I said, "Seriously?" That was the man upstairs. And he said the whole surgery team agreed, because if my appendix had burst, I would have lost my son.
Wow.
That is
Did
strangle.
you hear that, son? Is he in the
Yeah,
room?
he just said, "Holy shit."
Yeah. You were almost killed by your mother's appendix.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
And you know what? I had such a high tolerance for pain. I'd come back from Mexico, and I thought because I'm so skinny, I was having growing pains. And so I go to see my OB, and when he pushed, it didn't hurt. When he let go, it did. And he goes, "You need to walk across the street." And I go, "Are you serious?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's your appendix." And the sad thing was the emergency crew knew me by name.
Wow. Well, I
Because
gained.
I had all kinds of broken bones and stuff in the past.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
my son came out with flying colors, so thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. Whoever he is, I'm up to 199 pounds, so I'm going back on a diet again. Oh, here's the thing: I've got to go on a diet anyway, because they told me you can't eat this and you can't eat that and you can't eat gas-producing foods. And I said, "What can I eat?" And they gave me a list. And they said, "Do you think you can feel happy with that?" And I said, "That's what I've been eating all along. It's a low-carb diet. Everything was on the low-carb diet. I can still eat, So I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. So.
I'm 80% plant-based diet.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm how much? What percentage?
80%.
Well, I'm 80% plant-based. So we have something in common.
are you a vegetable already?
Yeah, pretty much.
At such a young age.
Yeah. Well, you haven't seen me. I sleep late, and I get up for my. I said the other day. I think I said last night. This is the most exciting thing that's happened to me in years. You know, I know that sounds
Hey,
silly.
I thought it was a barrel of monkeys.
You thought it was a barrel of monkeys?
Yeah, that's what it's one
Yeah.
of those toys.
By the way,
that,
I don't know about you.
Remember that?
I don't know about you
Yeah,
with your
yeah.
with your prostate stuff, but I went to the prostate radiation oncology section of Mount Sinai, which is in another building, and it's fucking gorgeous.
Not everybody can get in there.
No, wait a minute. I got to tell you, that their waiting room, it's these plush chairs, and it's like
That's
I'm
because
sitting.
your ass hurts after
Well,
they do
no,
those.
no. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, why is it so nice? And I'm thinking they feel sorry for us because we're going to die.
They
Yes.
make a lot of money.
Yeah, and they make a lot of money off of this. Yeah, the radiation part of this part will cost about $29,000.
That's not bad. That's a deal.
Well, it's all taken care of by Medicare and my insurance, but and then they'll of course send me a thing that says, and you may owe your you may owe $3.75. So they always do
But
that.
the rest, we got this, to make you feel bad.
Well, I think when Marjorie had her knee thing, we had this insurance, and she said she never was asked to pay a penny. Then on some of the really major stuff, the surgical stuff, it's just all taken care of. So good for insurance. But anyway, enough of my cancer because although I will use it as an excuse from time to time when Phil starts talking about Trump that please my cancer's acting up again. Just don't talk about that.
Trump will solve that.
Yeah, sure. He'll take it.
Yeah.
He wants to get rid of health care.
Oh, you're believing those memes that you hear on the internet?
No, I'm believing the guy who gives speeches, and what
He's not getting rid of healthcare. He's improving it.
Oh, I see. How's he improving it?
He's improving it by making it more competitive, by making it more transparent, by allowing you to shop different hospitals. Because he wants them to post their rates.
When did I hear that before?
And their success and failure rates.
This will make things more competitive, and then things got worse. I've heard that over and over again throughout my entire life. Oh, if we do this, I'll get more competitive.
You were the guy yelling, "The sky is falling," right?
No.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is.
I finally decided Trump is the best president we've ever had.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes. Now shut the fuck up.
My son is laughing.
You're what?
My son is laughing.
Oh, I thought you said.
And he's also the best president we're going to have in 2020.
Oh, okay. I just found out something my watch can do. I have Mickey and Minnie, but that any of these things, if I tap it with two fingers. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Two fingers, they say. Whoops, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Come on. Here we go. Come on.
Please tell me they don't start humping.
Oh, well.
Sometimes you can use the whole fist.
It doesn't work. Sometimes you can use the whole fist.
It's 10:58.
Welcome back, Tony.
Mickey talks.
It's 10.
At night she gets a little rage.
Wait a minute, Tony. We're trying to hear the Mickey.
Ma, don't worry about it. Who are we talking about?
Oh boy, this is really having Tony on this show. This is your typical New York experience.
He's driving me crazy today.
I think we
I should charge her a toll bill to go into the bathroom. I'd be rich. She's nosy.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? She don't even know what's going on. All she wants is Trump to die in office. That's the morning.
On top of
me too, after his third term.
On top of it, I got a crown that's falling apart in my mouth, so I have to see my dentist on Tuesday. So I got.
Would you get replenished, Alex? Remember you held off. You held off. Remember it goes back to.
No, I got to get a implant here, but the crown over here I may need because it's kind of getting a little on the loosey goosey side. It's been falling apart for years. Now I think it's seen its best days. So I've got the dentist to go to on Tuesday, and then I have this to go to then, and then that to go to then, and it's and then my radiation starts on the 27th.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Man, I'm jealous. All I have to do is go to work in the gym.
Well, if you want to come take the radiation for me, I'll let you do it. Okay.
I'm getting ready to go back in the gym. The other Sunday, I went for a couple of hours, and just walked around, found my locker again, and I hadn't been in.
Well,
that
that
gym.
was
I've
certainly a profitable day at the gym. By the way, how long have you had that gym?
Yeah, he talked about
quite a while, but you see,
and how much do you pay? How much do you pay for it?
I think it's about $60 a month.
Yeah, you're the kind.
75.
You're the kind of guy they really love.
Yeah, because I got a locker and they do the laundry.
Never complains.
But
Right.
you know, I hadn't gone since my operation, since the heart operation, and so I just wasn't ready to go back, and so I had left my gym clothes in the locker, and I thought that maybe they take them out every day and clean them, but I forgot you have to drop them off at the laundry area.
So what did they smell like when you opened up your locker?
Oh, they're clean. Everything that's in there is clean.
Okay.
It's in a little mesh bag. You put the stuff in there. You give it to the people at the Shoe Shine laundry area, and then they put it
Shoe
back
Shine
in the locker.
laundry area.
If you leave your shoes with them, they'll shine them.
Oh wow! Hello,
Hello.
hello. By the way, to Patrick, who's just joined us, Darth Pat.
Hey.
By the way, Patrick, since you're a Star Wars fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the latest Star Wars movie?
No, I have no desire to.
Avoid it at all costs. It's terrible.
I'll end up seeing it. One of my buddies will buy the Blu-ray and bring it over, and that's fine. Then we can fast forward through shit.
Yeah, it is god awful. It is just it's pathetic. It's product is what it is. It's not inspiration, and that's what we seem to like. Alex, I'm very happy. I just got a thing from Jeff Stein, but well, Jeff, why don't you just call? Why am I getting messages from you? I don't know where that came from. I don't know where it came from.
Left field.
Huh? Left field.
Left field.
Yeah, exactly. So, Anyway, so
Yes, Patrick.
yes, Patrick. Go ahead.
Two things. Tony, you shouldn't have had your hair cut. Could we see more of the background?
It's a decent cut.
I like his haircut.
Actually, just put it back.
Yeah, but the wallpaper is horrid. The wallpaper is.
And she thought this is good taste.
I'll tell you, it's not only horrid, it's scary. I mean,
Does she go into the kitchen often?
Yeah, she does. But you know what? She loves when he said the wallpaper. I never noticed it until you said, "Is that a wallpaper?" It is.
Did you
paneling the other room?
Did
it's
you,
not. We're waiting for the boat to come in.
Did you have a hold on a second? Jason is called here. Let me give Jason a spot. I'll put him in the number 7 spot. Let me see here. Jason's whole number thing. Well, let me. What is your? Is it 3 a.m.? Huh?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. What does that mean?
There's me, my wife, and my son. All have AM as initials.
Oh, I see. Okay, wait a minute. I just did
like
this,
that.
and
I didn't know Jason started with an A.
Oh, middle name, last name.
A is silent.
Okay, 3 a.m. Now, come on. There we go. All right, now I can. There we go. Okay, we just need to fill that one spot if anybody wants to call. Anyway, how are you doing,
Patrick's-
Jason? I don't think I've
Patrick is
talked.
blinking
I don't think I've talked to you since the new year, right, Jason?
No.
No. So, how was your New Year? What did you do on New Year's Eve? Somebody's got to have done something.
I stayed up till midnight.
I'm not saying anything.
You're not saying anything. What did you do? I have a feeling she did something terribly sinful on New Year's Eve that she doesn't even want to talk about.
She
glad
killed
somebody
somebody.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't do anything, Jason?
No, I barely stayed up till midnight.
You know something? I think most people are getting that way. I think they're just going, this is ridiculous,
Yeah, New Year's should also actually be December 21st too. So
Why?
That's winter solstice.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
that's why Christmas is on the 25th.
I think
what is New Year's without Guy Lombardo?
Gooey Lumbago. Yeah. What happened is that they said that if we took every month and I think made it 30 days, we would come out with one extra day, and that one extra day should be kind of a non-day that we call New Year. Okay? And then every month would be the same length.
I think it works. I try to figure out how Larry Brown does the dates, and I came up with the idea that the date and the day always repeats every 28 years. So if you can have some sort of date that you know,
he has already said that's how he does it.
Oh.
But to even memorize 28 years worth of dates or to have a method is pretty difficult. I know. Well, I
think he does it with baseball. My friend Barry and I try to figure it out, and we used a birthday, and that's how he came up with it. But it took like 10 minutes to come up with the date, and whereas he does it almost instantly.
Really?
Oh, your friend Larry?
Yeah, my friend Larry. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so we still can't get out of Kathleen what she did on New Year's, and it sounds like maybe did you do something sinful? Did you sin against our Lord at all?
Did you throw some meat?
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
Without saying.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm not saying.
Anyway.
What did you do, Patrick? On New Year's. What did you do? Yeah.
I watched. What movie did I watch?
It was that good.
No, it was. I have a certain rotation of movies I watch during the holidays, and I can't remember which one it was. And I had.
And you drank Mountain Dew.
And I had my Mountain Dew, and
yes.
I mean, I don't give a shit about New Year's, so
exactly.
What liquor was Mountain Dew used as a not a chaser but a mixer?
Catalyst.
Yeah, there's a liquor, and they developed Mountain Dew for that particular liquor.
I don't think so.
No.
They developed Mountain Dew because computer programmers needed something to keep them up all night.
No. It goes back. Right, Patrick? Is that? Am I correct?
Yeah, it was developed as a mixer.
But for a particular.
And it was originally clear, and I don't remember what the mixer what it would.
It was moonshine.
Well,
say vodka.
One, but I don't know that it would have been moonshine. I think it may have been whiskey,
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Probably go good with like Bacardi Limon because it's got that lemon taste. And the Bacardi, I don't know about the red.
Okay, Mountain Dew, stylized as Mountain Dew, MTNDEW,
right,
is a carbonated soft drink brand produced by PepsiCo. The original formula was invented in 1940 by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Allie Hartman. A revised formula was created by Bill Bridgeforth in 1958. The rights to the formula between the 1940s and 1980s, there was one variety of Mountain Dew which was citrus flavored and caffeinated in most markets. It doesn't say anything here about it ever being used as any kind of a mixer.
Well,
yes.
You might find it somewhere else, but that's what I read. It was a while ago. Looks like Jason is.
Jason. Yes, Jason.
Putting his hand in it.
Hey, you guys watched the documentary on, I think it was as a Dublin Dr. Pepper?
Dublin Dr. Pepper?
Yeah. It was Dublin's that's Ireland, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a city in Texas, though. It was they had a
there is a
regional
Dublin,
area
Texas.
for bottling the Dr. Pepper, and when Dr. Pepper decided to go to high fructose corn syrup, they decided to stay sugar. So they named themselves Dublin Dr. Pepper. Then they're like, apparently they were around forever, and Dr. Pepper like even spouted how great they were. But then a couple of years later, they sued them and put them out of business. But it was a great documentary. I loved it.
You know, it's funny.
It makes me want to boycott Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. If any of you live,
I got it. I found it.
If any of you
10,
live
2,
in
and 4.
any of you live in the South, Dr. Pepper is probably more popular than Coca-Cola.
Check Wikipedia.
I did.
It says, okay, well, it says here the Hartmans had difficulty in Knoxville obtaining their preferred soda to mix with liquor, preferably whiskey. So they developed their own, which was Mountain Dew.
I'm looking at the same thing.
Okay.
I want to mix Mountain Dew with whiskey. I would do Mountain Dew with more of a like a
so
vodka.
it says the soda that was created to be a whiskey chaser.
Really?
Mountain Dew.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the first time Alex and I went out, we must have drank between the two of us 10 Diet Cokes at Frantoio's. And then Tony Tantillo called you, and you talked to him for a while, and then you passed the phone to me, and then I talked to him. And then the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah, but I mean, we did drink a lot of Diet Coke together. But when you said we went out to dinner and we drank about 20 bottles of, I'm going, is she going to say booze? I never did booze, and she never did booze. And then you said Coca-Cola, and I went, okay, yeah.
I was expecting to say you guys did 20 lines of Coke together or something.
Well, we did those too. Yeah.
You guys are boring, damn.
One time I was at the apartment, and you had gone out with Bob Rubin, and you called me up, and you're like, Kathleen, I'm wasted. I had half a margarita.
Oh yeah. That's me. You know, I'm a 2 beer drunk. I'm 1 beer drunk.
When we went to Europe, I drank all the wine and you drove.
Do you know the only thing I smoke pot for now? I take this pill at night. It's kind of it's a generic Lyrica. And it puts me to sleep very nicely, but it usually wakes me up. I usually wake up about 6 o'clock sometimes and can't go back to sleep. So I go take a couple of tokes off this vape of pot, and then it go right back to bed, puts me right back to sleep. The only thing I use it for is as a sleeping pill.
If our president has his way, you won't be able to vape that shit anymore.
Yeah, you should go back to real stuff. Go back to real stuff.
He's going to save you.
Well, no, I like to use the real stuff, but in the middle of the night, I'd rather not light a joint. I just rather,
Why don't you smoke a bowl? Have a bowl and just pack your bowl, have it already all set to go, and it takes 2 seconds to fill it.
Yeah,
Get a
maybe
grinder,
I'll do
grind
that.
your shit up.
Are people allowed to smoke in a multi-unit building like that?
Sure.
Probably no.
Walnut Creek, you can't. You're not allowed to
No,
smoke
but
in
it's
any
pot.
multi-unit.
It's pot. You're not. It's not like you're sitting around smoking all day and making
not like
the
you're
room
smoking
smell like
cigarettes and giving
tobacco.
people cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're taking like a puff
I
or
know
2
some
puffs
potheads
and
that smoke this shit all day.
huh? What?
I know a pothead that smokes that shit all day. Just as if it was a cigarette.
Really?
Yeah.
He must not be smoking very good stuff.
No, he smokes good stuff, but he's been, 50, 60 years he's been, this has been his thing, or 50, 55 maybe.
Does he hold down a good job?
He's used to own an art gallery. Now he's retired and owns real estate.
So that's a no.
Well, he makes more than I do.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's what's with me and pot. Marjorie loves her pot. She comes home. I remember when I was a kid, my parents came home from work at night, and they would all have a drink. That was their tradition, right? They did it to unwind. I can't remember what their drink of choice was now, but that's what they would do. And now Marjorie comes home and she has her, she has a couple of puffs off a joint, and that relaxes her and lets her wind down. And I think every generation has needed something. When they got home from work, they needed something to help them wind down. And what a better way than pot? Pot is so harmless, you know.
Hey, remember when we went to the Castro Theater and they had the whole Alfred Hitchcock series? And so we'd go every night, we'd watch the movies, and when someone had issues, it was like, you know, someone was having an issue, and they're like, "Oh my God, do you need a drink?" Yeah, And then by the fifth shot, the whole audience was giggling.
Yeah, it
Because
was.
back then, the whole thing was, if you had a problem, hey, looks like you need a drink.
Yeah, you need a good stiff drink. You've just been through a terrible thing.
I thought everybody in the Castro was using amyl nitrate.
No.
Hey, you need a shot? Boom.
No, it was a drink.
Yeah, it was drink. And also, I mean, what I always like when I'm watching old movies now is to see the predominance of smoking.
Yes.
In movies. Yeah. You know, a guy is a doctor and he's smoking while he's talking to the people, you know.
It's crazy that they raised the age to 21 for cigarettes.
Yes.
It's crazy that they don't really work really hard to get people not to do cigarettes because they're totally useless. You know,
what they've been doing. I think that they are doing that, and it's working slowly over time because the amount of people who smoke now is like a quarter of what used to be even in the 80s.
That's why they've gotten into this vaping thing, because they're saying that they'll get addicted to nicotine, which is addicting, and then they'll start smoking regular cigarettes.
No, they'll never go back to regular cigarettes. Vaping is too easy
because it's kids.
Yeah, as kids, they like the mango flavor.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's my argument. You set the limit at, and I always said this: smoking cigarettes now in most states 21. Does that mean that the day before you're 21, it's bad for you, and that when you're suddenly 21, it's not bad for you anymore?
They're just saying you can make your own decisions at 21.
Well, I think you should be able to make your decision anytime, and I think that there's enough peer pressure right now in this country about not smoking, and it's so difficult to actually have a smoking habit and then go to a movie theater where you can't smoke, or a bar where you can't smoke.
Can you imagine?
Let me finish what I'm saying. The peer pressure alone has tamped down the usage of tobacco in this country.
Go ahead.
It's not because it costs so much, you know.
Can you imagine Bloomberg becoming president and him saying you can't smoke cigarettes until you're 50, or you can't have them at all? You know, just like he tried to do with large-sized drinks and.
Well, you're assuming he's going to do that, Phil, because you don't like him. But the fact is, he probably wouldn't do that.
He's got a track record. You know, remember?
No,
what he tried to do
when he wanted to do away with sugary drinks, I thought that a lot of people felt it was silly, but it was not a bad thing to consider, because really sugar is very bad for you. It's one of the things we don't talk about. It's terrible for you. Look what it did to you.
Yeah, it's a scourge, with diabetes and everything. It's sugar, and it's addictive. You think cigarettes are addictive? I was walking the dog this afternoon, and I went past the frozen yogurt place, and I had to say to the dog, please take me away from the entrance to that place so I don't eat it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I actually had to force myself not to go in there.
Exactly. So I don't know that he was off base about it. I just think that education is more important, and social chastisement is more important in getting people to quit something than to make a law against it, or to even put an age limit on it.
Well, I don't think there should be any laws against anything. That you should do what you want because you have, it's your right to do it.
Well, they just say they
shouldn't have to pay. Shit-faced and drive my car down the street, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I shouldn't have to pay for your addiction. You know.
Well, should I be able to get shit-faced drinking and drive my car down the street?
You said that you do that all the time. Oh no, that's the company car.
No, I think we should have to pay. I think we should have to pay for your addiction. You know, because we as a nation allowed this stuff to go on. I mean, if you're saying that that I don't have to pay for your addiction, then how come you're allowing your government to make the selling of tobacco okay in this country?
Well, because you have a right to not do it or a
well,
right to do it.
no, I mean, I think what's going on at your house? What is this?
It's my Nerf gun.
That's the end of that
Sorry.
computer.
Sorry, Tony.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
stuck you.
That's the end of that webcam. Anyway,
I can shoot pills in there at it.
huh?
I can put Tylenol PMs in there. Open your mouth.
Believe me, she's always been this childish. Okay.
I used to have a Nerf hoop. I was a Nerf hoop.
Anyway, but all I'm saying is that I think in the area of tobacco, there's been enough peer pressure that has made people kind of quit. I think that the vaping,
They're treated like pariahs.
the problem with vaping was it came along and people suddenly didn't look upon it like lighting up a cigarette.
Kathleen.
Okay. Here we go. Now, okay, both of you, go at it. Go at it.
That's awesome.
There we go. Now you have to shoot
Oh,
up.
Phil's gonna go get a real
because
one.
of where you are on the screen. You're going to have to he's going to go get his revolver. That's what he's going to get. You have to shoot up to get her. Straight up, Jason. Because she's up above you. And by the way, Phil's gone, so he's not there right now. So shoot at her. There you go. And then you shoot down, Kathleen. Shoot down. Shoot down.
You gotta shoot down, Kathleen.
See, you got to do that. And then he can do that, and he's going to get you. He's going to get you good. Okay. And what do you have, Phil? Of course.
I took the bullets out. But this revolver has a laser. Watch.
I like
Oh
that.
wow, it does.
Really?
Oh,
And it also,
camera.
by the way, might I add, it also lights cigarettes as well. So it,
See, it's a laser.
lighter.
He's dying to take somebody out.
You need a laser for something that only
Tonight I
shoots
was
20.
watching a documentary
It's
on the
small.
history of film, and it's a very interesting. If you get to see it, it's on Hulu. It's terrific. It's a whole series, and it's amazing. And one of the things the guy showed, and I have to go back and see if I heard correctly, but he showed a camera from World War II that was used in wartime that was a camera, and it shot film, but it also shot bullets. Yeah. So
Really?
I'm losing control of this show. Look at her. She's just goofy.
You sure she's 55 and not 5?
She's one. Listen, I got to tell you, she's one goofy broad. I'll tell you that right now. Jeez almighty. What?
You're an asshole.
You're calling your son an asshole. I've never heard a mother call their son an asshole. This is modern times.
Yeah. My mother just called me a little freak.
Your mother just called you a little freak?
Freak.
Oh,
I used to be a ball breaker.
oh, I see.
Oh man.
Okay, and Charlie, you've been very quiet about all of this. What do you think of this nonsense?
I don't like any kind of guns.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
gun.
Exactly.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
next-
I just got that laser. It's a grip with a built-in laser.
Why
Well, I was
would you
about
put
ready to
that
say
on
that's
a
kind of the
that's
gun.
only
That's the
accurate
kind of
for
gun.
50 feet.
That's the kind of gun
Well,
Humphrey Bogart would have
it's-
used.
The idea is that it's hard to sight because you have such a short barrel.
Yeah.
Really?
So this way you
Because
can.
that's a close. Yeah, that's the kind of gun that should be.
Like a
legal.
chain-
Well, that's a Humphrey Bogart gun. It's like, all right, I'm gonna shoot you with my gat,
Yeah, it's my
You know.
backup.
huh?
It's my
Pulls it out the
backup
boot.
gun.
Yeah.
Let me, just in
Um,
case.
Ray Renati says, "Save the wet spot for me." What does that mean?
You don't figure it out.
No.
You know the wet spot. You come and then you roll over on the bed, and there's a wet spot
Still talking
on the
about
bed.
I learned to live with it.
Yeah, well,
Well-
Ray said save it for him.
Yeah, he
I
did.
said you were putting me in the wet spot.
Oh, I see. Doesn't Kathleen's son have any friends? Friday night playing at home with mom. We should be a little worried. That's what Forbin Colossus says.
He may turn into me. That's not a bad thing.
So anyway, Patrick, I'm calling upon you, Patrick. What do you think of everything that's going on with our republic lately?
I think it's great.
Really?
Fuck that cocksucker in Iran. They should have smoked his ass years ago. And I'm tired of hearing people apologize for the United States that we were aggressors or some bullshit that the fucking crybaby cocksucker heard about at World War III.
You know something?
How about that?
You know something?
Out of Ukraine?
Donald Trump couldn't have put it better, Patrick.
There was no reason for.
Wait a minute.
No.
You know why they shot down that Ukrainian airliner? So that the Canadians, there were 60 some odd Canadians that died on that, and they're just apologizing
across the river from me.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, Kathleen. If you guys don't stop that right now, I'm going to have to come over and take those away from you. Okay?
You need
to time out.
Sean goes, when Charlie said, I don't like guns, and Sean goes, consider them Muppet guns.
Anyway.
But, Patrick, you don't feel that there's a way and proper way to do stuff that you don't take out the high...
Yeah, you use a drone.
Well, to begin with, number one, you killed somebody. All right, that's for
Killed
starters.
him good.
That's for starters.
And the guy deserved to die. I can't argue with that because what they're saying, but still, there's some you don't.
Well, why did he? Wait a minute.
Spots,
Why did he deserve? Why? Patrick. Yes, Patrick. Patrick.
He was a general. He was not an elected official. It's different. It's not an assassination when it's military. It would be no different than if they would have taken out General Schwarzkopf when he was in Iraq during the first Gulf War. Out on the field. It's no different if they would have taken out Patton. It's fucking military. It's different. If they had
It's also different in a war.
This was a war.
We're not
attacked
at
our embassy.
No, we're not at war.
With Iran.
We're not at war.
We will be.
Yes, Patrick.
Trump has his way.
If it was the Ayatollah or the president of Iran, that's a different thing. That's a state assassination.
The Ayatollah's not elected.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Yes, Patrick. Continue, Patrick.
It is not an elected office. If the general putting himself out there in the public, he was seen with the protest by the embassies. He's been known to be directing terrorist activities. So fuck him. And you know what? They should have done it a while ago. Better late than never. It was the same as Bin Laden. Unfortunately, George Bush couldn't find the fucker, but Obama did great. Paula Watts or whatever the fuck that cock-fucking American was, his ass dead. And this other asshole that Trump killed a few weeks ago, it's another one. Fuck.
Well, I could argue about Obama getting Osama bin Laden only in this respect. By the time they finally caught up with Osama bin Laden, he was just sitting in his house watching porn and really wasn't directing anything.
So I'm kind of curious on, Josh has, his historical stuff. Do you think that was an assassination, something that we shouldn't have done? Or have you already spoken on this? I don't know. I wasn't listening earlier for the general.
Josh, did you hear that question?
I have no problem.
Wait a minute. Kathleen, if you're going to keep giggling over there, mute yourself, okay? Did she hear me? Oh, she just killed her son with a Nerf.
Okay, Dad.
Yes.
Is that what you used to call him?
Put those down.
Daddy.
I think it was Grandpa.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Sir.
Anyway, where were we? Who was saying something?
Josh.
Josh, yeah. Josh, what's your take
Yeah, I
on
mean,
this?
I didn't have a problem with the overall situation. I mean, I don't know if it was the right decision given inflammation of the entire ordeal, but I mean, if we have a person, political figure, military figure, private citizen, doesn't make any difference to me if they're an enemy of the state. They're an enemy of the state. I mean,
But
I don't.
what about the
I don't-
assassination part of it? Because he was so high
Yeah.
up, is that considered an assassination? Or I never looked at how Patrick was saying.
I don't care
He's
if it
he's
is.
a military person. Is that an assassination? Or
In a war
If it
zone.
is, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I don't care either way. I mean,
Wait a minute, is Iraq
So-
a war zone, Phil?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, well,
No,
tell
it's-
tell
we're not
that to
at war.
ISIS.
Well, no, ISIS isn't there now, Phil. ISIS hardly
Yeah, because
exists
of
any
Trump.
longer. No, not because
In
of
fact, one of
Trump.
the things Soleimani did was help get rid of ISIS.
Yeah,
right?
he
They-
did more to
they
he
were
did more to get rid of
attacking
ISIS. He did more to get rid of ISIS than Trump ever did.
Yeah. Yeah.
My,
Oh, thanks,
my
Pat.
point is that nobody is saying that he was
Patrick's
an
got your
angel.
ISIS
Nobody's
right there.
warning
The only thing is, Patrick, you're doing that with your mouth closed, and I find that a.
That's right, because I don't want to get I'm not gay, so I don't put it in my mouth. But apparently Soleimani did, so good for him.
Yeah, yeah.
You fuck- yeah.
Yeah,
The point
I
is,
do
you
want to
gotta
say
think
something
of
to
the
Phil, though.
consequences. Trump didn't even think of the consequences.
What consequences? A dead mother.
What
Nobody
consequences?
got
If we
killed
get into
on
a war
Ukrainian
with Iran,
airplane.
it's going to be 100 times worse than the Iraq War, and we're still fucking there after 17 years.
Some
you
of the
know?
consequences were the people on the Ukrainian airplane. That's what the consequences.
Yeah, but they took off from Tehran. They didn't take off from Ukraine. They were leaving Tehran, and Tehran
the
airport.
government said that they were allowed to go, and then they shot them down because they were afraid because they just shot back at us for retaliating against killing this
Oh.
other guy.
Well, then they shouldn't have shot it.
I want to
up.
ask Phil something, though. I remember Phil, I think it was maybe last week, when he said, well,
Oh, the
good
crowd?
they got Soleimani, and the people in Iran are probably happy for it because they hated him too. Did you see all the people in the streets of...
Whenever when
I think
those
1.5
things
million people were there.
Yeah, when those things happen, the government says you go out and you cry in the streets and you hit yourself in the head.
Yeah.
With, and,
Do you think
and,
if that?
so
Do you
forth.
think if that happened to Trump, there'd be as many people in the streets?
No.
It'd be
No.
like at his
It wouldn't happen to
inauguration.
Trump.
No, well, no.
Trump
If it did
took
happen to
forever.
Trump, if it did happen to Trump, and I'm saying that's only wishful.
No.
That's
I
only.
don't-
Excuse me, Phil. It's only wishful thinking on my part.
All right.
But if it happened to Trump, do you think there would be 1.5 million people out on the streets chanting and protesting?
No, and I don't think it would happen in this country unless it was a.
No,
like a
I'm
John
not
Kennedy
saying,
type of guy.
Phil. You're saying it's not,
I'm agreeing with you that
I'm-
it wouldn't have happened
Yeah.
with Trump. Maybe a John Kennedy or someone like that could have had those kind of crowds in the street crying.
Obama
and
could have. Obama could
Nah.
have. Obama's
You're
very,
kidding
very
me.
low.
Kennedy
Obama
did have millions of people.
Yeah, Patrick. Patrick has his hand up. Patrick is always good about this. He always puts his hand up.
You never see.
Let him be a
doesn't go
lesson to
down.
the rest of you.
it
Yes,
only goes
Patrick.
one direction. It doesn't go down.
Yes, Patrick. Well,
He called on you, Patrick.
yes,
Go ahead.
Patrick.
Yeah, I know, but I'm waiting because
Go-
I'm usually interrupted right before. So
Oh,
I think there would be that many people in the street, and I think it would be people who are of the affiliation of Charlie and of Alex, who would be out there celebrating. I would be willing to bet that there are enough sick fucking people.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Mute.
If when you do that, mute, because the problem is it cuts down on Patrick's microphone. For some reason, it starts muting him a little bit, and so the sound goes down. That's the only reason. So, yeah. Anyway.
I was going to try and smoke this, but it's cannabis cream.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's hard to roll it into a joint.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, continue, Patrick.
Well, I don't know where it stopped.
You were saying that people like Alex and Charlie would be dancing in the streets if Trump.
I do think that there's enough people out there, not necessarily you two, but there are enough sick people out there that are so hateful of Trump that they would celebrate the death of him. And, I mean, to me, it's sickening to think that somebody would celebrate the death of our own president, whether you like him or not.
Okay.
I mean,
to begin with, we're making a lot of assumptions here that we would be. I don't think that I would. I think if Trump died, I would be respectful.
Right. Yeah. I say you particularly, Alex. I said of your beliefs. You and Charlie do not like him. You guys talk shit about him constantly. I know
Robert De Niro would be in the streets dancing.
He would be, yeah.
Yeah. But,
did you see him in The Irishman? I don't know if he can dance anymore. I mean,
he can with CGI.
With CGI, they have to CGI his.
I can't get over that scene where he's kicking the guy. It looks like he can barely get his leg up. Holy shit, Marty, put somebody else in that fucking scene.
Yeah.
It was just, look at my mother getting up and down the stairs. Come on.
Wow.
Alex, I don't know why I have to ask you about that. I don't know how I didn't mean to get off topic.
You should go ahead.
Was Patrick done?
I think. We're done, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm done. The only thing I was just thinking is maybe I should have my doctor do some CGI and I could walk.
That would be nice.
Hey.
Did you see that exoskeleton thing they invented and people are walking now?
Yeah. You try to get in that motherfucker. It takes forever. I had one. It wasn't a product, but it took everything that I had to get into it. And by then you're just too fucking tired. So
yeah.
By the way, somebody mentioned Forbin Colossus mentioned that Trump celebrated the death of John McCain.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you're right. He was happy about that a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what? To celebrate anybody's death is bad karma.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I mean, people that you don't. Here's a question. I would never want something bad to happen. Did you ever? But say, Alex, if you got news from somebody you really didn't like, I wouldn't be happy. But isn't it sometimes it's like, thank God it's not me though.
If tomorrow something horrible and God forbid it doesn't happens to Trump, I don't think that I would in any way celebrate that or feel. I mean, I wouldn't cry over it. I wouldn't go that far, but I certainly, I wouldn't be jumping for joy, mainly because I'd have to deal with Pence as president of the United States. So, Yes, Jason.
I would have loved to have been there when they were telling him what he needed to say after Iran bombed those bases in Iraq, when he was like, oh, they bombed our bases, but it looks like they're standing down. So, that's
the way.
Did not seem like a Trump thing to do.
That's the way he's been. When they shot down the $200 million, when they turned off, when they shot the $200 million drone down, he said, look, there was no loss of life. I'm not going to bomb a thing and kill 150 people, because of a $200 million drone. He wasn't going to do it.
And I felt that was...
He's made that same kind of decision several times in the past.
Except this time he killed somebody.
No. He took out Baghdadi. He took out this guy. This guy was a bad player. He was a bad guy.
No, wait a minute. He was a bad guy. He was our bad guy. But it's the old saying: the one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Yep.
It depends.
It depends.
It depends what side you're on. Okay. Well, and to his people, he was a hero.
But what I can't abide by
these
countries at all.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you heard what Trump said. He says we're self-sufficient with fuel.
So then why do we care about them at all?
Here's the thing that bothers
That
me.
was true.
That bothers me most of all is the incessant lying that's been going on over this by the Trump administration. The fact that they can't come out with a consistent story of why they did it. They keep saying, "Oh, he's planning on bombing some embassies." Well, what guy in another country who's an adversary of the United States isn't planning on bombing an embassy? We're probably planning on bombing some of their embassies. Yes, Patrick. And that's why you should. That's why they should then kill us.
Can they come over here and kill us?
I mean, if in fact, let's just say, and I'll get to you in a second, Patrick, if in fact they did attempt to kill Trump, would you say, well, that was fair because he was out to get them?
No, because we protect our people better than that guy
No,
did.
that's not the point I'm making. I'm giving you a hypothetical situation.
He's the king of carpets.
What?
So there's another guy who wants to get into the carpet business.
Everybody's in the carpet business.
But you know what? Hey, you know what? Let's take out the king, Phil.
Hey, drive down the street. There's 30 guys.
Take him out so that the other people have a chance. I mean, basically, that's what it's like.
Phil's the king carpet muncher.
You know, and I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And no, you know
okay.
what? I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to Phil.
Yeah, I don't want anything bad to happen to Patrick, and he's had his hand up for about a minute and a half, and he could get an embolism. Yes, Patrick.
The excuse that they may have been planning is good enough for me. That's a good enough reason for me. And you had brought up, what if they would attack us? Remember, again, this was a general, not an elected official. So if they were to take out a congressperson or the president or the vice president, that is totally different than if they were to take out the chief of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or one of our, general. It's a different level. So we took him out. Whether or not there's any provable evidence that he was planning an attack, who cares? He was a fucking piece of shit that needed to die, so he's dead. Now he can't.
Because, I'm really not trying to defend. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. But he needed to die because your government told you so?
They said, Trump said that they can't give up their intel on how they found out about these things. So there's only so much.
He also
was behind the protest at the embassy.
Give it to Congress.
Well, yeah, then the Congress will leak it.
Yeah,
Congress even said that the briefing that they gave was ridiculous. So they had two different Republicans even come out and say this is the worst thing we have ever seen come out on a military briefing. It was ridiculous.
Because they didn't hear what they wanted to hear. They
wanted to hear.
They wanted to hear. Wait a minute. Let me say something, Jason. Phil, they wanted to hear something, and they heard nothing. Okay, all they got were these vague references to, oh well, he was up to no good and he was going to do something. Actually, the truth of the fact was Soleimani was in Iraq and he wasn't planning anything. He was just there to take care of some business and then go back to Iran.
I think he was flying commercial.
Yeah, he wasn't going there for military purposes. He wasn't going there for military purposes.
He missed that flight.
Wasn't going there for military purposes or anything like that. He was just going there to take care of some stuff, and then he was going back to Iran.
You don't think he directed the attack on the embassy? You don't think that he was the guy behind?
No, I don't.
That's probably the embassy that he was planning to attack. Who got injured? Who got hurt?
Oh, nobody got hurt because
it was a protest
Trump
at an
didn't let
embassy.
it turn into a Benghazi.
It was a protest at an embassy.
Yeah, it was a protest where they were breaking down the doors and burning down the place.
On an outer shell wall.
Well, because they didn't get through because Trump sent in 100 Marines and they defended it. So it wasn't another Benghazi.
100 Marines like 2 days later?
That's how long it took to get them.
I think that what Trump did was unwise only because of the results of what's happening. I think that we are not safer now because he did that. I think we are only in more danger than we were.
I think that the Iranians are going to come to the table and start negotiating. That's what I think is going to happen.
Well, that's yeah, and you were really right about the people of Iran weren't going to celebrate
We didn't have to
Soleimani.
come to the table. We had already been at the table.
Yeah, that table sucked.
Why? Because
that
of,
was the table that paid for the bombs.
Nukes now.
That was the table that paid for those missiles that
Phil,
landed
nobody
in Iraq.
paid for anything. The money that the Iranians got was their money back.
It wasn't their money; it was the Shah's money.
No, it was their money.
World Court.
It was
gave
Iranian.
The World
And you
Court.
don't give money to terrorists.
The
You
World
don't
Court.
fund
The World
terrorists.
Court said to
And that's
return
what
it. Wait a minute. Let
Iran-
me hold on a second, Phil.
terrorists.
World Court.
Jason, didn't the World Court say return it?
The World Court said return.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then what? So you're saying you're better than the World Court? So
Yeah,
you're better.
definitely.
You're better than the judicial system.
Much
so
better.
That's what a terrorist says, Phil.
Yep.
That's the
I'm so
terrorist
good.
thing.
He's good
I'm
at
so
that
good,
and
I
carpet.
would never return that money. I would have spent it on camera
So
equipment.
see, that's what a terrorist would say. Except for they're spending it on bombs.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, this is all. I don't know. God knows, the cancer will get me hopefully, and I don't have to put up with this anymore.
No, don't
Pure
say
cancer.
that.
Just think you can vote soon.
Huh?
You can vote soon, November. This is going to be an exciting year, I think.
I can vote soon. I was able to vote soon after I was 18. Come on,
But I think this is going to be an exciting 11 months leading up to the
Oh
election.
yeah, no. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be the most. All these networks are going to be so ginning this thing up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let me. Yes, Jason, and then I want to ask Josh a
real
couple
quickly. I
questions.
did want to say I went to a union meeting the other day, and the majority of the people in my union are Trump voters. I don't understand them. I don't get it. It just boggles my mind. But they were all saying like, I can't vote for this idiot. And they were saying how, they admitted how they voted for him originally, but it's like, now I can't vote for this idiot. So that gave me a little bit of heart because my county, Macomb County, is always mentioned every presidential election and what's going to happen in Macomb County. So at least I saw some union members turn around and say, I voted for him the first time. There's no fucking way I can do it again.
Let me ask. Oh, we lost Kathleen. Yeah, she left.
She got shot by
She
a
probably
nerve.
got taken out.
I'll let her stay there frozen, however, in that position because it's kind of fun. And plus we only have about 11 minutes left. I just think that now what was I going to say? I forgot completely. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to say. Josh, you work pretty much in blue collar circumstances, right? With the paint company and everything like that, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Would you say the people you work with, because they are voted for Trump last time, or?
It's fairly mixed. I mean, we have a lot of. The plant's about 50-50, black males and white males. So most of the black males I don't think voted for Trump, and of the white employees, then it was probably split from there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I think a lot of people did for sure.
Well, the question I wanted to ask is that hearing what Jason said about the people he works with were basically Trump voters who said now they can't find themselves voting for him again. I was just wondering if you found that same sentiment among Trump voters in your
Ohio.
In Ohio.
I don't know. I don't know. For one, we're such a human resources driven large corporation that political discussions rarely take place,
Okay.
from my experience. But of his hardcore people around here, they're not going to change their mind really no matter what.
Yeah.
He could be on videotape breaking the law law and saying that he was breaking the law, and then it wouldn't matter, you know. I mean, so I'm not real sure about
Yeah.
the question, really. I mean,
I guess maybe with us
I
too,
don't
it
think he's
took
going
us
to
a
do as
year and
well
a
in
half
Ohio
to
as
get
he
a
did last
contract.
time.
Phil's
Out
had
of the
his hand
7
up for a
people,
while.
out of the 7 people here, how many honestly are registered to vote and vote?
I have never missed
I
an
vote.
opportunity to vote.
Yeah. Do you
since
vote, Alex?
1971.
Yeah, absolutely.
I turned 21.
Yeah.
I'm only 2 blocks away from the voting, my school, the vote.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
mine's right around the block. It's like
All
a
right,
half a block
so
away.
you're all registered to vote, and you all
Yep.
vote.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You know,
I
that's
think I have missed one election in my lifetime, and that was basically to appoint a dog catcher.
Alex missed John Quincy Adams too.
yeah. That's right, Phil. Thank you.
No.
Thank you. By the way, I blanked out the picture of Schmoody because she left, and we feel that it's important that I don't have her looking folks like that.
What do they do? Turn the electricity off in Tracy about this time?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know if she just hung up because she was tired of playing the game tonight, or whether she lost her signal and then decided not to come back.
I'm sure she lost her signal.
Probably. Yeah, she's very good about staying around to the end. So, anyway, if you can listen to us, Kathleen, sorry to see you go. Yeah. Anyway, because you're always very funny and Nerf fighting.
And we're just happy to have a woman here.
We're just happy. Yeah, yeah.
There's too much testosterone. Well, not anymore, but
yeah. Testosterone is bad.
Testosterone.
Testosterone. I just think that we're who knows what's going to happen in this election, but for those people like your people, Jason, who say they voted for him last time. No, the people that you work with, who said they voted for Trump, and they're not going to vote for him again. The question is, if we hand them a mediocre candidate on the Democratic side, are they going to vote for them? That's the question.
The biggest thing,
or are they just going to stay home?
Yeah. Me personally, I do think that it is a woman's turn to be president, just because it's been so long and never had a woman president. Part of me feels that, but the other part of me feels the guys that I work with, if there's a woman, they will absolutely not vote for her.
I think they should get a German Shepherd president. There hasn't been a German Shepherd. Why not get? That's the only qualification is that they got mammary glands.
Well, the thing is, I got to tell you that I think it's time that we
been president.
It's time that we did have a woman for president, but you're never going to get a woman president until you get somebody running that engenders the kind of backing
leadership
that somebody Obama was a stealth candidate. That's why a black man got elected as president.
She's middle of the road. She's good looking.
Yeah,
she kicks some ass.
She's hot.
Yeah, definitely.
I want a president I can jerk off to. I mean, while I can still jerk off.
Tulsi would do it for you.
The Tulsi would do it for
I don't
me.
think you lose the jerk off ability based on the type of operation you've had.
No, it does. It can, for a while, make you somewhat flaccid.
It'll work even flaccid. Trust me.
I've never wanted to have an appendage that waves in the wind, but I think I'm about to get one. So. But
only good for pissing. It's only good for pissing.
Yeah, and it may not be very good for that either. So. But anyway,
then they'll give you a catheter.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that that it's come to this. I just think that the Democrats have to come up with. The only woman that is feasible, Jason, is Elizabeth Warren, and I don't think she could win against Trump.
I think she could, because I think just the party has to get behind her, and we need to learn, like the Republicans do, to fall in line instead of fall in love.
She's so non-genuine, you know. I mean, even
and Trump is genuine.
Oh yeah, Trump says what it's on his
No,
mind. And
bullshit, Phil.
what
That
he
is the
says.
most ungenuine person in
minutes.
the world.
Well, he's like a woman.
Patrick. Okay.
I was gonna say, Phil, Trump is not genuine. I mean, come on.
He might be genuine, but
He's the real deal.
No, but no. You know, just saying. Well, he lives up to what he said he was going to do. Well, that's scary. You know,
Not for me.
well, Hitler must.
wanted him to do
Then
what
by
he said he was gonna
by your standards, Hitler must have been a great guy because he did everything he said he was going to do.
Yeah, but he did it for the other guys.
No,
You know, he wasn't making America great again.
no, he was making Germany great again. You know, and I'm sure there was some statement to that
And he
effect
almost
at the
did it.
time.
Yeah, and he almost did it.
Yeah,
You
no,
almost sound
what
disappointed,
he did
Phil.
is he brought Germany to its knees, and I hope that we don't have the same problem here. You know, I mean, let's face it, this whole thing with Iran, and be honest about it, Phil, was a tactic meant to dissuade us from thinking about the impeachment and to slow down the impeachment.
Well, they've already slowed down the impeachment. They haven't delivered the papers.
Well, they will be. They are going to be delivered next week.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of people pressuring Pelosi to do it.
No, not that, but because they think that they can go over there and get at least some kind of trial going, where they are going to be able to, bring forward witnesses and things like that.
Yeah, but I look at this impeachment as being so phony. And so does Trump. Trump doesn't even, let it bother him.
Oh,
at
you
least
kidding
publicly.
me? He's
he's
bothered
bothered.
every minute of every day, Phil. He's sweating it bad.
He is.
There's no way he's leaving the job.
Well, no, because you've got a complicit Senate, that isn't going to listen to the facts. They're just going to
Like they said,
listen
they'll do
to.
the biggest cover-up in American history.
What'd you say?
Kinda like
Wait,
the-
what'd you say, Jason?
I said, and that's what Nancy Pelosi was saying. Now, if they do it the way that they're saying, they're going to be part of the biggest cover-up in American history.
Of no crime. There was no crime.
Sure.
You show me the high crimes and misdemeanors. I didn't let you interview the witnesses that had privileged information. Well, that's his right.
Well, first of all, wait a minute. I got to say this quickly
sounds
because we're
wrong, but
running
it's his
running out of time. But Trump said that I want to be able to get my side of the story out there. And now that we're having this trial, he's doing everything to prevent his side of the story from getting out there.
Trial hasn't started. How do you know that?
No, I know that because Mitch McConnell, I think, has said that
He's going to help the president
get his
story
way.
right.
Yeah.
He's going to work with the White House.
He's going to work with the White House. Well, you don't
He's
work
not
with
gonna
anybody
be
on
a-
this. You put on a trial, you listen to witnesses, and then you let everybody make their mind up.
If you work with the White House, maybe he'll get some witnesses. If he works with them.
Bullshit,
they
Phil.
could-
Bullshit, Phil. As much as you want to guarantee
You're
something.
looking at a negative meaning.
Oh, I see.
You're not looking at the positive.
Oh no,
part
no,
of
because
what he's saying.
I'm completely in Trump's corner now. I think he's the finest president we've ever had.
I understand.
And
Thank you very much.
I'm sold on him. Another 4 years, God, give him another 12.
Yeah. So the stock market went up 11,000 points since he became president.
And that means
The
absolutely
unemployment
nothing.
down to
That means
3%.
absolutely nothing to the average American.
And help me a bit.
Unemployment, but not your home income.
Yeah. So
It trickles
Lost my
down.
job.
I mean, you're in a
Got a job
union.
at McDonald's.
You're in a union, so you're stuck with what they negotiate for you.
I played the theme too loud. I'm
And it took
sorry.
us a year and a half to get our agreement because we had a Republican in office.
Yeah.
Thank
Anyway,
God.
hey, listen, there goes the theme song. I'm all out of here. Next week, I don't know what's going to happen next week. I have a half-day trial, so on Friday. So I think I will do a show Friday night, and I think I'll be here on Tuesday. I don't have anything that's sticking up my ass that day, so I'll be here. But I'll be here on and off as we go forward with this thing, depending upon how fatigued I am and things like that. So, but I thank you all for being here tonight. I thank all the people.
We all wish you the best.
Well, don't worry. This is yes. There's our new president right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to vote for a clown, vote Joker for president. Okay.
Yeah, but the hair wasn't orange.
Hey,
It was green.
let's give a big round of applause to Phil. And there's Charlie, and there's Josh, and there's Tony, and there's what's his name?
Jason?
Jason. Jason. Well, I was going to get to Jason. I was forgetting Patrick for a moment. And Jason. I think I got everybody, didn't I? Yeah, you've all been to. Oh, and of course, Kathleen, who we lost there at some point. I don't know what happened. Anyway, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I will give a big wave goodbye back at you. Okay, here we go. There they go. There goes the citizen panel. Off into the night, perhaps going over to talk with Jack Bishop, who's on next over most of this GabNet. I'll see you again on Tuesday. Right after nothing, because we don't have any show on Tuesday at all. Okay, so we'll be on 10 o'clock Eastern time Tuesday night. Yeah, you know the drill. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. Okay, bye bye everybody, see you later.